Good evening and welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm Steve Leahy. How are you all doing? All right, we have a fun one tonight again. I want to get that Paclock done. I'm going to kind of change things a little bit with the live streams. I'm going to kind of keep them the same way. But what I also like to do is I kind of like to use the live streams to kind of get some stuff done. That Paclock has been hanging around. I think I talked about the helmet. That's been the mask, the hockey mask, that's been here too long. So you may see more of that in the next coming weeks instead of, something different every week. And it's fun because it will be something different with it, but it'll be the same kind of topic. So anyway, I thought I would do that. I thought that'd be fun. What else? I've got only one 543 for you because it has been absolutely insane. And before I keep going on that, I also want to give a huge apology to anyone who has won in the past couple of weeks, or anyone who has ordered something in the past week, especially something with framing. I had a little hiccup with some of the things that I use to frame, and I'm having a difficult time getting the things I need to finish framing them. So if you are waiting for something, it is on its way. I just gotta find a new supplier for the things that I'm missing, hardware type stuff. So I apologize for that, but I will get on that as fast as I can get the stuff in. And that's it. So we'll look at the one we have for tonight, and then we're going to jump right in on this Paclock, and I will say hello to everyone. How about that? All right, let's do it. All right, where am I at? I don't know what I'm at. Oh, there we go. Is that live? No, that's last week. I don't want last week. I want now. I want to see who's here now. It says live. Is that today? It'd be funny if this isn't today and I'm going to say hello to everyone from last week. Well, that's okay too. Mr. Anderson. What is up, Mr. Anderson? Mark, what's happening? Hello, Auntie Paula. Gary, what's going on? I think I have the volume up on this. Hello, Michael McClung, what's going on? Ron, what's happening? I think that's, yeah, I can check over there. That works. All right, so let's get going. A big, huge thank you. I just dumped everything on the floor. Okay, then. It's going to be that kind of day, kids. Big, huge thank you last week to Honey Rivera and Sideshow Bob, Brother Robert, for the super chats. That is amazing. Thank you so much. And to Timothy John Luke Smith for the super sticker on the Wednesday night feed, which was the final episode of the Tokyo painting. Let's do a little show and tell before I get to the painting. Not much sneezing your head off. Oh no. First lawn cut of the year. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit jealous. Hello, Kyle. Don, I'm glad you are here, Don. All right. Don, you may know what the painting is because you're a member. So anyway, no spoilers, but it's Don's painting. Or it's the painting that Don suggested. Let me go grab Tokyo because I want to show you guys. Oh, what am I doing? I'll be right back. All right. So if you have been keeping up on the Wednesday Open Studio thing, you are familiar with the Tokyo painting and you might have seen the last episode. But this is how Tokyo came out. It's all done. It's finished. Finished. If you haven't been keeping up on the Wednesday night thing, I painted this entire thing. Everything painted, and I framed it, and it was all on YouTube. So you can go to the Open Studio section and see all 87 episodes of this in its glory. But this is how it came out. I'm super happy with it. So yeah, museum glass, and that's the crushed stone behind it is from Tokyo. The frame is Japanese cedar, so it is the full package. I'm using new cleats on the back to hold it, which are very slick, and a little security thing on the bottom too. So it is all done. I'll get you close to it too. Let's go here so you get the close up on it. That is how that bear came out. I'm super happy with it. I got a few things that I didn't mention. I used a new kind of foam board and it sucks. See how it's pulling away there? Because I paint the foam board to match the background, and the face of the foam board started peeling up from the paint being on it. So I got to pull this apart and use different foam board and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's all done. So yeah, So we have started the new project. I was going to take a couple of weeks off on Open Studio and just relax, but I can't do that. So we have started the London Pen project. And I'll give you a little sneak preview of the London Pen project. The first episode is Wednesday, so you can kind of hang out with us. But I'm doing this really cool Canadian theme on this pen. If you're not familiar with London Pen, you should be because he's on here all the time. Oh, let me say hi to new people. Swamp, what's up? What's going on? What else we got? Mr. Shees, what's happening? Rusty, what's going on? Enzo and Kelly, hello. So this is what I got planned out for it. The pen, this is not the pen I'll be painting, but this is one of London Pen's pens, and that's what they do. They make these super fancy pens that look like this. They are beautiful. So this one is obviously, ready to go. This is my own London pen, which is pretty nice. So I have a blank of this. You guys were here for the Planet one, I think a couple of years ago. I did that now. So I have another blank, and I'm doing this Canadian theme on this. And it's going to be Open Studio, so you'll be able to watch me do the whole thing for that. So if you're interested, come by on Wednesday. It's fun. We have cookies and snacks and other things. All right, let's do it. That's all I got. That's all I got? That's all I got. Which one? This one. All right. So last week, Don, our buddy Don Neo, asked for the Apache AH-64 gunship. I've done this helicopter before, but I'm a sucker for it because it's so damn cool. But that's what I got. I tried something a little bit different with this painting. So normally they're all in black and white. This is well, black and white, but I used all kinds of grays instead of just straight black, which gives it this like kind of misty, you're about to get blown up kind of feel. And I call this painting Ghost. So this one I tried a few things out on, and if you get this painting, you get way more than a 543, but that's okay. This was a classic, I'll fill you guys in, this is a classic what could go wrong painting, and I'll show you why, because it's worth it, because you guys will get a little bit of info that, thank you JC, how's it going, buddy? Mr. Garcia, what's up? Hello. So what I decided to do with this, because I was going to be doing it in grays, I have a bunch of the Steve Gibson illustration colors. This is one of them, the Grisaille line. This is before I think his name is, before they changed the tags on them. They sent me a bunch of these to try out. But they're basically a grayscale. So it's from 1 to 10. What am I showing you? I'm showing you over here. This one's number 4, and each one of them it's a scale. So this is number 2. It's obviously darker, and it's kind of cool. So if you follow the Grisaille method, which has been around forever, that's the new Steve Gibson label, by the way. Air, oil, and lead. This one was just one of the old ones. But anyway, if you follow it, you paint the whole image in gray and then you color it. It's really a classical way to paint. It's been done in oil paintings for a long time. So Steve developed a method for airbrushing, and Createx made a set of paint. So I decided I had these, I was going to try them. So I did. And the video you're going to see on Tuesday for time lapse shows you using that paint. So what happened was, though, here is the actual painting that I did, and you will notice a few things about this one compared to this one. At the end of the painting, I was all done, and I decided to, with all the paintings, I decided to put UVLS satin on it. What I did not realize was that UVLS satin reacts very badly with illustration colors. I didn't know that. It blew me away. Dean! I know, yeah, you guys are still in the UK. I know you guys are. You guys haven't had your daylight savings yet, so hang in there. It'll straighten out soon. I think it's 2 weeks difference. Sean, what's going on? So let me show you this up close, because what happened was a bunch of things happened with this. Let me make sure this is focused. So if you notice on the nacelle here, if you can see it, it's all cracked. It had this like crackle finish. And if you notice around the outside edge, I'm going to get you guys closer to this. Because if you paint, it's a good idea, like I said, it's going to be good that you see this. Because I don't want you guys to run into what I ran into. And this isn't anything with the paint, a problem with the paint. This is a problem with me not knowing how this particular line works. Yeah, here we go. I've got you zoomed in now. So this is what it looks like up close. So a couple things to notice. You notice the crackle. Actually, let me turn it this way so you can really see it. So it immediately started crackling the paint. It also faded the paint really severely. And if you notice, there's a weird outline around the edge. It also shrunk, which was crazy. So I watched in real time, I watched this painting get destroyed. And it was sad and horrifying because originally it looked like this one. So anyway, fortunately, I have an in with Createx, so I made a call and said, hey, what did I do wrong? And it turns out if you add a little bit of UVLS to the illustration paint, this won't happen. If you want to clear your paintings with UVLS and you're using illustration, you just have to add UVLS to it and then it won't do this. But even if I tilt this, notice how the background is satin and the painting is actually matte. It sucked up all the paint, all the clear. It was crazy and totally destroyed it. So unlike last week with the reptile eye, where I had two of them at the end, technically I do have two of these, but I'm obviously not going to put this one up for sale. This one goes in the what could go wrong bin, but this one will be up. So there you go, Don Neo. There is your AH-46. Couple quick notes about that. Amazing helicopter. It was first manufactured in 1975 by Hughes Helicopters. Right currently now, the contract has been shifted over to Boeing, so Boeing makes this helicopter. It was designed as a frontline attack helicopter. It can travel at crazy speeds of 190 miles an hour and has an altitude ceiling of about 20,000 feet. This gunship is armed with, among other things, a 30 millimeter chain gun, as well as Hellfire missiles and 3-inch rockets, or 2.78 inch rockets. The longbow radar, which is that bump at the top here, that radar can track 128 targets at the same time. And this platform is scheduled to be in operation right up until 2050. So it's going to have a 75-year run, which is absolutely insane. So there you go. There's your Apache helicopter. So if you win tonight, congratulations. You can choose this painting or any of the other paintings. And that's what I got. All right, let's paint some Paclock. I'll catch up on this real quick because I've done a few things to it. And then I'll tell you what we're doing as we get going too, and that way you can start working on this. First, let me get the camera set up. So, and then I'll show you a little bit closer on what I was doing, or what I have done anyway. Cheese, grits and NyQuil, what's up? Oh, I'll have to fix that. Thanks, Scott. You're the man. Leave it to an expert, baby. I love it. All right. What do we got? I'm going to move this over because I need to. All right. So I can see what's going on. No, I want it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we got here for focus. Yeah, all right. That works. So what we're going to do tonight, you guys keep doing your 543 suggestions. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you're new here, you could suggest an image, for me to paint with those black and whites, and that's how you get entered to win next week. You don't have to be here to win next week, but you do have to be here live to make a suggestion. For those who have been catching me on other platforms, we don't take suggestions anywhere else, so it's only during the live. And that's it. That's pretty easy. All right. Let me switch you guys over, show you what I did. So what I wanted to do, well, I didn't do it with you guys, but I did anyway. I cleaned up a few things, and also I changed this clock face. That other clock face that I had on there was garbage. I just kind of burned through it. The numbers were all wonky and weird, and so I changed the numbers, and I also changed the time to 5:43. So, or 5. Did I do 5:34? That's even better. What could go wrong? So there we go. And then what I did to protect all this, because we're going to be working on the back side of this, is I sprayed this with a little bit of Autoborn Sealer Clear just to kind of keep that face safe when I flip this thing over. The other thing I started to do is to work on the Paclock logo. it's going to be yellow, it's going to have some orange in it, and then it's going to have like this rusty kind of corrosion around the lock to make that the letters stand out. So that's what we got going on with that. All right. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Scott, I'll go with that. All right, so the back of this also has 6,000 on it. So what I'm going to do is now, so like I said, keep your 543 suggestions going. And then, what I also want to do is I need some ideas for the back of this. Thanks, Scott. I need some ideas for the back of this guy. So Cheese had suggested a while ago for the 543s that I do the anglerfish, so that was a fun one. But if you guys have any cool steampunk ideas for this side, yell them out, and you know, I'll pick a couple of them or one of them or whatever, and we'll get going. Hey Wayne, what's going on? Robert, how are you, buddy? Yeah, Robert, I'm still waiting for components for my passport, so I thought I was going to luck out, but that did not happen. But again, don't tell your lovely sister. I want it to be a surprise. Yeah, it happens all the time. Oh boy. All right, so again, I have UV, no, not UVLS. I have Autoborn Sealer 6000, the clear on this, which is why I'm able to sand this. So I'm not trying to like smooth this out at all. I'm just trying to, you know, completely. I'm just trying to take some of the bite out of the clear, so I have a little bit smoother surface to work on. Obviously, I'm not getting into all those scratches that are already on there. Not scratches, the machine marks. I don't want to get rid of those. In fact, I want to save them. So yeah. Steampunk Owl. Kelly, I'm doing that. That's a great idea. So that's the first one. If I can get through the owl, keep them coming. And if not, if I can't get through them tonight, you know, I will try to add as many as I can. Because I'll read all the comments after anyway when I'm doing the spreadsheets and stuff. Steampunk Key. See, Sean, that's a great idea. See, I knew you guys would come through with good ideas. So I still have the other two sides too. So we have a bunch of room on this. Oh, and Swamp, I saw your suggestion for the hit and miss engine before. I don't know what that is, but that's half the fun about the 543 suggestions. I get to go look them up and learn something new. So I love it. For the back, Steampunk Lock Cutaway. Chuck, that would be amazing, but I would really have to plan that one out because I wouldn't want to screw that one up. Although Chris got the inner pins. Maybe what I'll do is I'll leave this half. I'll just work on the owl on this side and then maybe put some pins on this side. That might be a really, 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 really good idea. All right, so owl. Oh, you know what we can do? How do I want to do this? Although, here's what the problem with the owl, and the owl's a great suggestion, but all I can see, you guys, do you remember Krull, the movie Krull from the 80s? If you're into B sci-fi movies or are around my age and are into sci-fi. And so the movie Krull has this little mechanical owl in it, and it's totally goofy, and that's all I can see in my head. So I'm afraid I'm going to have it look like that if I do the owl. So I don't know. Clash of the Titans. Oh, it's Clash of the Titans. You're right. Krull had the 5-pointed fidget spinner from Death. That's right. Clash of the Titans. That's right. When they redid Clash of the Titans, didn't they throw the owl in a bin when they redid it and said we don't need that junk or whatever? Wasn't that Clash of the Titans? It was. You guys got it right. Okay, good. Michael Jackson moonwalking. That's a good one too. Fingerprint. What is up, my buddy? All right, so let's do this. So first thing I got to do is I got to get the streaky stuff, the background on this thing first. So I got to make sure I do this right. So it goes low. It's going to go low to high. Going to cut across here high. So it's going to go high to low here. So we'll start with that. And I think I'm going to start. Oh, do I have stuff on the brush? I do. I have some stuff in the brush. Yeah, I think, Dwayne, I think it was the same owl in the new movie. They just tossed it aside. All right, so this is the brown. Oh, yeah, I showed you the clock face. So this is the brown that I was using to shade the clock face. So Since I got it in the brush, I'm just going to use this to get started. So it's small up here and it gets bigger down here. Leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day is an excellent suggestion. This one is clearly too light for what I'm going to be using it for, but it's paint in the brush, so I might as well use it, you know? Yeah, they did. So this I can kind of be real liberal with because the final color is really super dark. And there's no logo on this or anything, so I can spread it out a bit more than I did the front. But I still want that swoop. I still want it small to, you know, kind of angled this way. Balloon with a basket, or dirigible with a basket. That's a good one too. So again, if you're just joining us, I gave my apologies if you are waiting on something from me. I had a little bit of a hiccup with the supplies for some of the framing bits and pieces, and so if you're waiting on something, I apologize it hasn't gotten out yet, but I'm sorting that out right now. I've got a bunch of stuff from a different supplier on order. I'm just waiting for that, so hang in there. The other thing I ran out at the same time is I ran out of those padded envelopes that I've been using. So I get those from Uline, and I get them, they only have them in one like quantity, and it's a gigantic quantity, and I never thought I'd run out, but I've run out twice so far. So that was good. Didn't expect that either. A Nautilus. Oh, a steampunk seahorse. Oh, Kelly, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'll do a steampunk seahorse. Because it goes, this whole thing is taking on that sea vibe now because I've got the anglerfish on the other side. I like it. Nixie tubes. I gotta look up what a Nixie tube is. All right, we got a bunch of lock pickers. This Allen wrench hole right here, I gotta mask that off before I clear it. Yes, yes. That's gotta be, you gotta be able to get at that. How about this hole right here? If clear gets in that, is that gonna be a problem? I mean, I can mask them when I clear them. That's pretty easy, but just let me know, all my lock picking friends. I mean, I know this is probably gonna have to be masked off because it's an Allen wrench, but I'm not so sure about this guy over here. That's actually a really kind of a nice color. It's blumber, but more umber than black. I was going to say bumber. It's more umber than black. So so now I can just jump into black, I guess, because that worked out swimming. All right. This is just straight black. I still haven't had time for spa day here. So the so my Micron B is pretty much out of commission right now, which bums me out. But hopefully this weekend I can take a few minutes, and I'm going to need a whole day to get through them, but hopefully I can do that. All right, so lots of dark up here. Me getting paint in these holes doesn't matter because, you know, when you put an Allen wrench here and turn this out, it'll just break the paint that's there. So again, I'll call it out again. If I can have the suggestions of any of my lockpicking friends, whether I need to, I know I'm going to block this off before I clear it, but I don't know if I need to cover that when I clear it. That's actually an easy one to mask too. You just get a small wooden dowel and just stick it in there. And then when you clear it, on the last round of clear, you just pull the stick out and it's all done. This one I'd probably have to tape, which is not a big deal, but oh, there we go. They don't need to be masked. Nobody should be opening it up that far. The Allen wrench holds the shackle components in place, but most people won't go that far. Well, geez, if I clear this, they won't get that out without ruining it. So, you know, the clear will basically weld that shut. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I will just because. Maybe I'll just throw some masking on it. Because my fear is that it's somewhere down the road, if someone does get this and then tries to do that, if that's cleared and they put an Allen wrench in there and start turning it, it'll lift all the clear around the edge here. And it'll ruin that section of the lock. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just be safe, and I'll mask everything. All right, so you see this is, I should have mentioned, this is really reduced black. It's 1 part paint to 5 parts reducer. So it's really, really thin, but it really picks up quickly. You know, it really adds that black. Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Swamp has already claimed it. I love it. So I know, you know, and Cheese, if you want to get into it now, or if you want to wait, or everyone should definitely subscribe to him, because I'm 99% sure he's got plans to give this away once he creates the challenge lock. So here's the thing. Even if you don't lockpick, it would still be a really cool thing to have. So I would do whatever needs to be done. Now, this may be a lockpicking challenge type thing, which I'm not sure of how the giveaway is going to go. So you may need to actually be able to pick locks, but he could definitely fill us in as we go. And whenever that's ready, please, Cheese, don't feel like you have to, you know, spill the beans yet if it's a thing, if it's a surprise or whatever. So anyway, he's the guy to talk to. All right, so let's do, you know what, I think I am going to do the innards here in steampunkness, but I won't do that yet because I'm going to get better reference photos for that so I don't screw it up. But the seahorse I can figure out for here. And we're just going to start doing it. So seahorse, I kind of need light source for him too. I know what I'll do. We'll do a seahorse, and maybe I'll put like an old incandescent bulb right here so that it gives him some sort of light source too. All right. I'm going to need my phone for this because I'm going to grab a picture of a seahorse that I can use here. La 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 la. Oh, they're so cute. Let's find. Oh, that's a good one. Hippocampus erectus. Is that really the actual name of the seahorse? Is a little seahorse. Hippocampus erectus. That is freaking amazeballs. All right. Yeah. Good call. Brian Moore, what's up, buddy? Nice, Chris. What's up, Brian? What's going on, buddy? Oh, we're only at 6:30. This is awesome. I'm going to put out new white for this. Do I have the palette camera set up? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Knife switch light to the lamp. Oh, Dawn, that's a great idea, too. See? That's why I have you guys around. You're idea people. I like it. Is this going to work? I don't know. Sure it is. Brandon, what's up? How's it going, Brandon? There we go. Okay. So again, like we talked about last week, I've changed how I approach this just to kind of get it done a little bit more boldly. So I've done the background, and then I'm going to just paint my little seahorse in here with white paint, and then tint it from there. So I'm going to drop the white up here because all this white down here is pretty much garbage now. Oh, Rob, Dread, what's up, buddy? What's going on? You're up late. I love it. All right, let's see. Seahorse time. Seahorse time. Rob's here. Rob's got to, I know everyone knows Rob. If you're not following Rob, Dread Effects, you got to go do that. His channel is amazing. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of outline him, or not outline him, but just draw him in, and then figure out how I want to light him after. What is this little freaking hair on the end of here? Hippocampus erectus. That's awesome. Yeah, Adam is killing it. Adam, did I say hello to you? I hope so. All right, let's put him here. So we're going to make him on the bigger side, I think, so we can have some detail in him. So first, let me start with, I think, the outline. And then I think as we go, I'll figure out how to steampunk him or what I want to do to steampunk him. But I want to make sure he's big enough that you can kind of make stuff out. But I also don't want him to be like obnoxious, you know. Yeah, Adam just finished a very cool tail end of a, what was it, 65, Adam? 64 and a half Mustang. Which is very, very cool. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Okay, yeah, so this will be good. I'll just kind of draw this little boy in, and then we'll figure out how to steampunk him. Or what we're going to do. You know, we'll add gears and all that fun stuff. Sea monkeys. They, you know what? And all the time I've ever gotten sea monkeys, I've never got them to do their sea monkey thing. I always end up with like this weird like cloudy soup. Oh, I know what's going to happen here. I already know what's going to happen here. All right, so we'll have some little things like that. So again, you know, it's difficult to really screw this up. You can kind of go nuts and do whatever you want. And fix whatever doesn't quite look right. All right, so he's going to come around, and then he's going to do this, and then he's going to do... Oh, this will be fun because of all the scroll work on here. It'll pick up on that. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to... Can you see all that? I'm like, oh no, I just figured I was working off the screen, which I do all the time. Cha-cha-cha-chia. Pineapple house at the bottom. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Oh, God. So I'm going to add the little details from the filigree stuff from the other side on my little seahorse here. All right, and then of course he's got his little steampunky, he's going to have his little steampunky fin in the back. All right, so he's definitely going to be armored. What are we going to do with his belly? I know. Because his belly's sticking out a little bit too far, so let's put a little belt, we're going to put a little belt on him, and we'll have that belt be riveted. Yeah, that's good. And then the rest of the pot like that. Yeah, we'll keep this little guy cute, I think. All right, so that's good. So for the bulb, we got to do a switch. Where am I going to do a switch? I could do the switch just on this side. That might help things out. And the bulb is going to be, we'll do the top of the bulb here, or the part that's in the socket. Steve, use your words. And then for the bulb part of it, I'm going to cut a mask out because, we'll see if I get to it. But what I want we might not get to the bulb tonight, but the bulb, like I'll cut a little bulb-shaped mask for this so I can just airbrush in, the fade. So it'll be a fade around the outside edge to the inside. And then I'll make the filament glow like I did the other side. So you saw me do all that with the little bomb thing. So I'm not going to do that here, but this way now I know where the light source is going to be for that little guy. So, I should get a steampunk plankton in here. Oh my gosh. All right. You guys are insane. I love it. All right, so now that I've got kind of where it's going, I'm going to start dealing with the kind of the light source, because then I can, add the details onto that. So obviously the bulb is here, so this side is going to be where we want the light to be kind of hitting. So we're just going to kind of hit it hard here. Obviously, this part of his tail is going to have a lot of light on it. I guess the side of his tail will too. His nose is going to have that. And his forehead, obviously, too. There he goes. And the little spikes, because they're going to be kind of in the light. Carol Ann. Step into the light. There we go. Top hat and goggles. Can I do that? I've got the spikes in there. Can I do that? Yeah, why not? Adam wins. All right, I'm doing that too. So I've got the spikes on the top of his head, but we're going to get the top hat in here. So we're going to put it down a little bit lower and have it be part of that. And then we're going to have this like this, the top hat like this, and then that'll come in there. So that way I don't have to destroy too many of the spikes, or I don't have to try to cover too many of the spikes. There we go. And we'll get some detail on that as well. So we'll get a little, we'll put the goggles on there. We'll get the, we'll probably put a feather on there too. And that way I can still do the spikes in the back. I like that. This little guy, the Hippocampus erectus, is only 2 inches tall. Patty, what's up? All right, so now the secondary light. So I'm going to grab the white again. Oops, that went into the water. And then I'm going to grab some orange. This is, or red oxide, really, to give me this like pale orange. So this is going to take up the secondary light source. So again, I've got it outlined, and now what it's going to start to do is just start to think about like where the non-brightest part of the light will be. And that's going to be on the outside of the highlights, but also on the neck here. And unfortunately with this color, the red oxide is very, very transparent. So even though I added it to white, it's still very transparent. So it's going to take a lot for it to cover, but I'm not really looking for it to cover. I'm just looking for it to kind of show me where that like second area of light will be. Dan Mayer, you're not late, man. You're right on time. A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he should. There we go. Yeah. That's good. Actually, we'll drag that out a little bit more. So we have something to plant the details on. All right, that's good. Oh, we're gonna get small on this guy, but it'll be worth it. It'll be good. He'll be a nice little detail. All right. Cool. A secondary light source. So for the back side of it, what do I want to do here? The front side is going to be that yellowish light from, the same as the front. I guess I can't do a different color. Normally I would do a different color in the back, but I don't want to do that. So we're going to use the red oxide as a secondary light source, which is just a straight orange. I've already got white here, so by putting the red oxide on it, it just lights it up orange. I'm going to have to airbrush this too to get this to really stick and to really show. But again, it just gives you an idea of what I'm doing here. There we go. Again, I'm not worried about the light bulb right now. We'll do that later. Yay! Okay. I should get you guys even closer, huh? Why didn't you yell at me? Why didn't you say, Steve, we want to be closer? And I would have been like, oh, okay, let's do that. Sorry, I didn't mean to blind you by getting you in the light. Oh, yeah. That is what I'm talking about right there. Oh, Grouchy, I got to do that suggestion. I've seen you suggest that a bunch of times, and I want to do that. I just haven't had a chance. But sooner or later, I'm going to get that one done. A little too close. Little too close for comfort. There we go. That's better. Now you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. There he is. Focus. It's actually kind of focused right now. Beauties. All right. Do I still have white in the brush? No, I don't. Okay. So white's next. White is going to kind of put the rest of this together. Blue and black tree frog. I miss Leinenkugels. Adam, can you not get them where you are? Because I know I could get them in Massachusetts. For anyone who doesn't know, Leinenkugel is a Wisconsin brewery that makes a bunch of really cool stuff, including an extremely good lemon shandy. Blowing bubbles is a great idea, because that way I can show off the light bulb next to it too. The bubbles will have the light behind it too. I'm allergic to wheat. Oh, that makes sense. So no, oh my gosh, no blue moon for you. No, there's so many. They shut the chip off. What? How is that possible? Oh, by the way, when I was trying to figure out, I'll show you this because you're up close. When I was trying to figure out the grays for the helicopter, I did a little test sheet with the Steve Gibson grays, which was fun. Michael McClung, what's up? Michael, I missed you all weekend. I was running around crazy. I didn't get a chance to sign in to watch you on Saturday or Sunday. I saw you after the fact, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm glad everything is going great with your paintings. Oh, wait, is Founders? Oh, Founders because of the wheat. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, there's some really good wheat beers. It's I feel your pain, especially in, when was it, 10 or 15 years ago when IPAs really started catching on and that's all you could find. Just to take a break from that mega hoppiness of an IPA with a really nice wheat beer, it's just great. Todd, what is up? And I'm sure Ria's somewhere close behind. All right. And so this is just pure white. So what I'm doing with this is where I've got all the paintbrush strokes now, I've got all the lights and kind of darks already set up. So now what I'm going to do with the white is I'm just going to kind of run around this thing and tie this together. And I'm not, like what just happened there, that little blowout near his belly, I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be going around the outside of him with more gears and, different things. This is just kind of concentrating on getting the main form down of this little guy so that when I put the details in, they have something to stand on. Again, I'm trying not to get paint everywhere, but I'm not super worried about getting it on the edges at this point or outside of the lines I put in. Just trying to take some of the paintbrush marks out a little bit. Smooth that out. So now there's 1,000,001 ways to do this. You could airbrush this. You sketch it in with the paintbrush or with the airbrush first and then put those other, details on, but it's all whatever works. Oh, Michael, you did? Okay, I don't feel good that you had problems with your laptop, but I feel good that I didn't miss your feed. I thought I did. And what happened with Oh no, Ria. Well, I'm glad you're here. Since I have white in the brush, I'm going to jump over to the light bulb and start the process of glowing that filament. You know what? I've got white in the brush. I should just do the light bulb. We still have time. We are killing it. Today sucked. Oh no, Ria. I don't want to hear that. I need a piece of paper. I got one. I'm going to cut out my light bulb here. My Leicester light bulb. See, that's a New England thing. Where's McKay when I need him? So Leicester light bulb was the this weird little light bulb dude that I forget what electric company in Massachusetts had him as a mascot, but there were all these contests and everything like draw Leicester light bulb, and Anyway, I entered all those and never won. One of my friends did though. Won a bike, which is pretty cool. So there's my light bulb. Pretty cool. Looks like a pear, but that's what it is. Antique lantern with a bug on it. That's fantastic. All right, let's cut this out. And all day today, I have had All Night Long by Lionel Richie stuck in my head. What do you think of that? Why I have that stuck in my head? Don't really know. And now, hopefully it's stuck in your head. So I don't have to live with this alone. Nice cheese. I really want this to come out right without any hitches. Because there is I mean, you can fix this, but not really. That looks actually good. I'm happy with that. Hitches meaning like if I cut it and then like there was a pointy part of that circle or it wasn't quite round, it would look like trash. And we don't want it to look like trash. We want it to look like a light bulb. Sniff more paint to be dancing on the ceiling. I love it. All right, I don't need my whatever anymore. Don't need that anymore. There we go. I'm going to refocus. I had to change the focus for you because of the cutting. That's how sensitive you are. This lock is only like, I don't know. It isn't very thick. Look at all the blowouts on this now. I love it. I'll fix that in a second. All right. Nice. All right, so there's my bulb. So I line that up like that. I don't have to like, obviously magnets won't work on this because it's brass and I don't want to, use any kind of adhesive on it. So now I'm just going to run around the outside edge of this. Really lightly. To give me that light bulby thing. Cool. And there's going to be yellow added to that, so, don't worry about any of that. All right, cool. Cool. I need to do more on the little seahorse. Nice. I know. You guys are amazing. When you say hi to everyone, I'm always impressed. Yeah, can I fit the pilot goggles on the seahorse's face? Yeah, I can do that. I was going to put him on the top brim, but yeah, I can put him on his face. So let's start with his face. What time we got? We still got 10 minutes before the giveaway. You guys, this is crazy. All right, so now let's start thinking about some of these details. So, did I turn? No, I got that on. Okay. This is not Blumber. This is red oxide and black. So it'll work for me. So we're going to start with, I think, underneath the brim of his hat, just so I can get a baseline here. This is not as dark as it needs to be, but it'll definitely get us started. So this color is orangey enough that I can like start to take out some of those, like those blowouts that I was talking about, like those little, white accidents. I mean, I'll be getting in behind this thing with a bunch of gears and everything anyway. So, that's what I mean. I'm not worried about any of this extra stuff. Tapping before, if you several coats on it, sander with 1000 grit, spray some 42. Did I miss something? The blowouts, Dan? Because that, I mean, for the size that I'm spraying at, it's almost unavoidable. But yeah. All right, so now, again, now I'm going to start drawing this stuff in. But what I got to do is I got to really kind of think of the light source now, because I don't want to really get into just like drawing all the stuff in and then trying to outline it and then get the light source. I want to make sure I kind of have both at the same time at this point. So we'll get the strap on the back. There he is. He looks like a bandit. All right. You guys focused? Focus, focus. Oh, that's better. That's better. A vintage safety razor, that's cool. I have some Gillette blades. I painted one. Like the Gillette Stadium painting I did was actually on a Gillette blade, and I'm not going to do that again. That was a good one-time thing. But if you know those double-edged razor blades, the ones like Judas Priest logo double-edged razor blades, the old-time ones, they are so thin, it's ridiculous. It was very difficult not to paint on it, to just handle it, Painting on it was no problem because it's done like everything else is done, but this thing is like microns thick. It was so fragile, like it bent. It was just really hard to handle, There we go. All right. I'll add the details onto his goggles in a second. Yeah, you won't even see him when I'm done, Bob. I know they look like little spikes or whatever. So I'm gonna get the brim on this. I may put a feather on his hat too. We definitely got to have rivets on his hat. So we'll get the dark part of the rivets first, and then we'll just highlight them from there. And then his hat, so we'll get the bulb here, so there's going to be a core shadow here eventually that will be really dark, and then the background, the secondary light source in the back, will take care of that after. Here we go. That's good. Now the way I have it, the top of his hat is close enough to the light. I'm going to leave that white, and then we'll just kind of do that. We'll just kind of make it bright. Same thing with the front brim of his hat. That's true too. I think his nose should be the same as the tubing on the front. So we'll do this, and then we're going to have his jowl here be a gear. So we're going to paint the negative of the teeth of the gear here. And then when we get there, once that dries, I'm just going to do a line across, and that'll make all those gears. That way we can have like one of the spokes come out from his eye. So his eye would almost be like the spoke. That'll give a kind of cool look. Yeah, so now I can kind of run a line along the back side here, and then that gives me all the teeth of that gear. So there'll be secondary shadows there too, so that's cool. I like that. The back spikes, something's got to happen with those. HR Puffin stuff. That's a good one. Oh, Rhea. I should do the owl tour, the 543 owl tour. I love owls. They're amazing, amazing animals. All right, what am I doing with these spikes? I mean, sometimes too much is too much. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I've done, you know, I'm gonna have all these ideas on this thing, and then sometimes you just need kind of a break. The spikes might be it. All right, so I definitely got the little pot belly. I also want to have like a little dial type belt buckle, like a gauge type belt buckle on him. So you're gonna be able to see that here. So I'll start prepping that. So there's the front of basically the gauge part of it and the body of it, and then I'll do the belt with the little extra rivets on that. And get those extra panels on here too. That's nice. Still thinking about those highlights. Let's highlight the goggle a little bit. And the tip of his nose and the tops of all these little nose parts. Start pushing out the panels that make his belly. Sharpen up them spikes. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the spikes as spikes. I mean, I was thinking about, you know, maybe like little lights, you know, little Godzilla-like lights in the back, but screw it. It's the edge of the hat. That's good. Same thing with this, you know, his little fin in the back. I might keep that just the way it is. And then the filigree, I really love that idea. So that's going to mimic the filigrees that'll be around the rest of the thing. Although his tail needs something too. So if I have these little divided sections on his upper part, I should probably do that on the lower part. Exactly. Rhea wanted to be a zoologist when she was young. Not too special, love knowing everything. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to need, let's do the same kind of setup on his tail to a certain point. I don't want to do it all the way around because I think too much is too much. So that looks good. Yay! All right, so again, you guys are up close. That's my index finger, so it gives you an idea how big this little dude is. So he's pretty small, but I like him. All right, so we're at the point now. I've got all the white in. I've got a bunch of the details in. So now I can start working on some of the overall colors of him before I start using the real darker details to kind of pull out the rest of those images. The tail comes down pretty low, and I don't have enough streaks down here, or do I? I don't know. What do I got in here? I got white in here, so I want to change this out to a most blumbery blumber. 6:59. Where's Honey to yell at me? Let's give away a painting while I'm getting ready to jump on this next part. We'll definitely finish this little seahorse today. And then I've got a bunch of great ideas from you guys now, so thank you. I'll be able to incorporate a lot of them. If you do have any other suggestions for this lock, just yell them out. Like I said, I check all the comments when I'm doing the spreadsheets and everything. So if I can fit them, I'll get them in. And that way, you'll be part of it. Bob says it's time. Bob knows. I'm not going to move any of this stuff. I'm just going to do this because it took so long to set it up. And we only have one to show and one to show and one to go. Do I have one to show? Yes, I do. It's over here. All right. Don Neo, our buddy Don last week, asked for the amazing AH-64. This is an AH-64 in flight without a locked tail wheel. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Oopsie. What could go wrong? But anyway, there's your Apache. So if you win tonight, awesome. I have 26 lovely people on the list tonight, and I will show them to you now. There they are. Nice. Congratulations, everyone. Only kidding. Only kidding. Cheese, Adam, Patty, Deidre, Ron, Wayne, Brian, Rusty, Toby, Swamp, Honey, Todd, Kelly, Michael, Rhea, Keyman, Don, Ian, Mr. Scott King, Scott, I was going to say Scott Kyle. No, I was going to say Skyle. Skyle Shees, Rick Lotta, Brandon, Grouchy, Gary Shees, Patricia, and James. So there's your numbers. I'll run backwards because I realized that you couldn't see the numbers. So you can grab your name and wait for your number to come up. Oh, wait. Honey won. So if we draw her name, we'll take her off. That was yeah. That was an oopsie. All right. What do I want to do here? I want to do this one. Too many buttons, too many buttons. All right, 26. So I'm still going to do 26 because that way if I change it to 25, James Cully won't get a chance to win. So if 11 comes up, we'll just redraw it. There we go. 13. I was waiting for it to be 11. Ah, where is she? 13 is Kelly Drake. Kelly, you can pick anything you want. Again, you guys have been amazing switching over. What I need you to do if you win in now or the future, send me a message through my website. So you can go to when the little pop-up window comes up when you go to my website and says, "Hey, can I help you with something?" Those messages go directly to me. So what you can do is if you win, just tell me which painting you would like, which 543, and give me your current shipping address, and I will take care of the rest. So congratulations, Kelly. Kelly, if you would like the Apache, let me know. Other than that, it will go up on the website after the feed. But now look at that. We're ready to just jump right back into it. So I was about to paint this thing yellow. It was all yellow. Sing with me. Look at the stars. What? Oh, how they shine for you. So yellow really just means golden yellow, which I gotta get more of this stuff. I'm almost out. Wicked golden yellow. You can't read it because it's too blurry, but trust me. I'll take a look at your website. Thanks. Awesome, Kelly. You know what to do. Take your time. Pick a good one. Anyone else who would like one, please, please, please. They are all discounted 50%. Anything I paint for the feed is always 50% off. But you can also commission your own 543. I've left that up there in case anyone wants one of their own. You don't, unfortunately, get the discount on the commissioned one. However, the nice thing is I will paint you exactly what you want. So if you want a 1964 Comet, I will paint that for you. So if you want a painting of your dog, I will paint that for you. So, you know, it's really kind of cool. So yes, you don't get the discount, but you get exactly what you want, which is pretty fun. Nice, Adam. I can't help it. I just get stuck in my head. Where did my other glove go? If I was my other glove, where would I be? All right, I don't know. Oh, here it is right here. Yay. Dean from Hell, love it. That's a good one, Grouchy. All right, so I've got golden yellow in here now. So I'm gonna start with the light side of him. The golden yellow is really transparent, so I don't have to worry too much about getting it on the background. And again, the background is what I'm going to use to kind of like take care of all my sins on this. You know what I mean? Like if there are any other blowouts or something needs to be kind of sharpened up, the edge, the background is going to do that. It's not a terribly common way to paint. Usually you do the background first and then you put the foreground stuff on top of that, and it just gives it that, you know, kind of look. But this is so small and so tightly packed with stuff that I can work in reverse, and it actually helps me out a lot with the stuff in the front. So again, this yellow is transparent, but it's not 100% transparent. So I am going to have to kind of clean it up too. Dude from Big Lebowski would be awesome too. I don't think I've ever done anything from Big Lebowski. So I'm going to concentrate mostly on the light areas where the light is hitting. But I'm also not afraid to kind of let it bleed over into the part that's going to be orange. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Super bee on a wing. That's amazing. And I'm still working out the 543 show, the actual 543 show, where I'm going to be on location with them all. I have to find the right spot for it, but I have a plan for it, and I'm really kind of excited. I just got to figure out where it's going to be. First one's going to be around here locally so I can try it out. But it may be a show that I can move around. Because they're so small and because of the way I plan on displaying them on the wall, I think I'll be able to move it around pretty efficiently, which would be a lot of fun. Nice. You guys are awesome. Oh, Falcor from Neverending Story. You guys. All right, so next is red oxide. So remember, red oxide is my go-to orange, even though it's this color. It looks like a brown. When you spray it, you'll see, it'll be like almost brilliant orange. Rusty, like kind of a cool orangey color. Ryan, what's up? Yeah, Ryan, I'm going to keep going today until I finish this little guy. So we probably have a little bit more time than that. So you're doing good. UV glow paint in the light bulb. That stuff worked so well. I was blown away with that stuff. Maybe. Let me think about that. The only problem with the UV paint was you had to put a bunch of it on to get it to glow. Plus, I've been using UVLS on this. No, I've used a sealer on this. Maybe. So if I had to use any UVLS stuff, it would kill the glow. I don't know. Let me think about that. All right, so there is the red oxide in there. Now the red oxide is going to take up the slack in the back and fill in that color for me. Again, it's very, very, very transparent, but I also don't want to like have to do a whole bunch of work around this thing by just, hosing it down. But I can be pretty generous with it. I just saw a bunch of outtake clips from Young Frankenstein. Marty Feldman was just insane during the filming of that movie. It was so good. One of my favorites, that movie. So again, the secondary light on the back side of him is going to be orange. So I can really like lay into the right-hand side of this guy and really get that orange ramped up. And then it fades into the yellow in the front, which is, again, that's where the light's coming from. But he's looking lovely. All right, so a couple more bits to go on him, and then he'll be done, which is fun. Gopher from Caddyshack. I've never done that either. These are such good suggestions. Let's put in the rest of the highlights now because we're just about there. So, oops, turn that on. Yeah. So, in anticipation of the highlights of the bulb when I finish that, the lightest parts are going to be obviously closest to the bulb. So the front side of his hat, the brim here, the very edge of the brim, tip of his nose, maybe some of these little nose bits, and then the front of the goggles, that kind of thing. And then anything that's like in direct line, like the front, this when I get to this, the little gear or whatever valve belt buckle, the highlights on the rivets, just in the front. And then his belly sections, they'll get a little bit of highlight too. But again, just where it's, you know, like in direct contact or direct line of sight with the bulb. Because again, the more I get to this point where I'm, you know, getting brighter and brighter or darker and darker, I want less and less paint. It has bigger impact when that happens. If I were to do that white everywhere, it would just wash it all out and it wouldn't look good. All right, so now I can, same thing, with the darkest dark, which is going to be like a black, which I'm going to need more of because this stuff sucks. I'm going to use straight up black here to get the, no I'm not, because I still have to do the details on his belly. Hold on, check that. Ooh, yeah, it's all clogged up. Interesting. Meet the most interesting people. Anyone? Anyone? Definitely on the Wayback Machine tonight. All right, Slimer from Ghostbusters. Adam, I did do Slimer. I mean, that doesn't mean I won't do him again, but yeah, actually the Slimer one, I won't do that one again because I know I think Slimer is still available. He might not be, but he might be. Oh no, I don't want black yet. Do I want black yet? No, I want like a dark brown. Because I could do the details. I did all the details on like his top half here, the hat and everything, but I didn't do the details on his belly. So again, I'm thinking of I'm putting in lines and details, but really, you know, again, I'm thinking about where the light is coming from. So I don't want to just outline everything. And this is not going to show the way I wanted it to because it's too small, but we'll make it as gear-like or as gauge-like as I can. All right, so now the shadow lines underneath those little panels. So the big question is why do this? You know, like why take the time to do something like this? And for me, and I talk about this a lot, for me the impact is the scale. You know what I mean? It's like I love seeing what we can do as far as pushing human capability. You know, like how small can we get? How detailed can we get? And still, you know, still tell a good story, obviously. It's, you know, I mean, I've said it before, I forget the British artist's name, the guy who carves in the head of needles. Absolutely insane stuff. To me, that's like the pinnacle of what I just, you know, was just talking about. You know, what can you possibly pull off? What's the craziest thing you can pull off as a human being? And that has a lot of merit to it. Now, the trick is, and with his work too, it has to be good art, period. You know what I mean? Yeah, his stuff, the scale is really what sells it over the absolute accuracy. Like if you were to scale his stuff up, they wouldn't be really great sculptures because, you know, I mean, the how do I say this? The scale that he works on just doesn't allow that. You know what I mean? So a lot of the amazing part about what he does is that they do look really cool, and they're so small that like they're microscopic, you know? But I mean, if you scale it up to the size of like a Michelangelo sculpture, you'd be like, oh, that's really not that great. You know what I mean? So, so for me, I want a balance of those two things. I want all my work to be like, hey, you know, if you scale that up to mural size, it's still going to be really good. That's what I really want. I keep saying it, I want it to be a good painting first, and then the scale comes into play. Again, is my way the way to do it? For me it is, but doesn't necessarily mean for everyone else. All right, so I've got that done now, so now I can just switch to the black. Again, the black is super, super strong. So I got to be really careful with where I use it. Like it's going to be in the really just the darkest areas, like under the belt here, and maybe to help pop out these little rivets on his belt, the shadow side, and then to help fix whatever happened with the gauge. And then, you know, in a few spots, like where I want to like recarve the edges, just to kind of straighten them out a little bit. Really sparingly, you know, super sparing. I'm going to have to come behind this guy down the bottom. I just don't like, I'll pick this up a little bit more. It's a little too messy around the tail with the overspray, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll pull the streakiness down a little bit. Yes, those guys too, Chris, the people who do the pencil lead carvings, those are insane. But do you see what I mean about that? Like if you were to take that pencil lead carving of the train coming out of the tunnel, which is my favorite one, and then you were to scale that up to like, you know, I don't know, even like model railroad size. Just because of the scale of it, you can't get the detail that it would be if you could model railroad paint it or model railroad sculpt it, or even, you know, larger. But that's where the amazement of the scale of it and the difficulty of carving carbon like that takes over from the artwork. It's part of the artwork. And I like I said, I totally appreciate that. But I like to not get it so small that I start to lose that. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing, and it's a personal thing. And again, it's not the right thing. It's the right thing for me. So that's what I'm talking about. Brian didn't even ask for that soapbox, and look at what happened. You all coming by on Wednesday, right? Where's Sean? Sean hasn't showed up. All right, Bob, have a good one, buddy. I miss you. Hopefully Sean comes by this week from London Pen, because we're starting his pen, and I think that's pretty cool. All right, so remember I have red oxide in here in this brush. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fix behind the tail, and this little dude's going to be done. So we're going to fix behind the tails. I'm going to take that red oxide, add a bunch of black to it to give me that really dark kind of rusty. Oh, that's way too much black. Oh well, I tried. I don't even know. There aren't even Tater. I don't even think there are. Hello, Tater. I don't even know if there are soapboxes anymore. It's a soap crate. All right, so this is almost completely black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top and work on some of that. Yeah, this is really black. Yeah, this is too black. Sorry about that. Dump out some of that. Put more red oxide in it. It's not going to have the same warmth of the other color, so it's going to show up. So I don't want that. So we just add a bunch of red oxide to it and reset it. That's much more lovely. Ryan, have a good one, buddy. All right, Ryan. 10 minutes are up. All right. Cool. Yeah, if you're not following, Ryan's already gone. If he isn't gone, follow Ryan. Ryan's doing some amazing work too. Just love watching you guys. Whippy UK for Bram Stoker. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, steampunk stuff has been crazy. I have a friend who does a lot of. He's been doing I guess what you'd kind of consider steampunk stuff, but he's been doing it forever. You know, he's been doing it before it was cool. So makes these really cool, like everything: tables, chairs, computer desks, and they're all like made out of like giant like machine equipment, like gear sprockets and things. They're just so cool. All right, so again, this is that dark kind of orangey black color. So with this now I can kind of go around the seahorse and kind of drag down some of these to kind of take care of some of the sins behind him. Now I'm going to lose some of the work I did on his tail. There's just no way around it. So I'll just have to repaint his tail. But it's totally worth it to, you know, make sure that stands off the way it should. Hit miss machine. Yeah, I will. So the only thing about doing this, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's not terrible, is that now I've got this a lot lower than I wanted this side to be. I want it to be really up high, but it's not going to make, you know, it's not going to make a crazy difference. All right, so now with this color, I can kind of, ooh, I didn't realize you were so far off. Move him over a little bit so he's more in the center. So now with this color, this dark color, I can add the final shading, which is on him, it's mostly core shadowing, which is that shadow that kind of hits the middle of the object. And what's nice about that is it gives it a whole ton of form. So if you have a secondary light hitting the back and then a strong light force, a strong light hitting the front, it really gives whatever you're trying to portray a lot of volume. So this little dude will feel like he's very round. And that's it. That's all she wrote. All right, so that's that. I'm going to pull the camera out a little bit so you can see it a little bit more in scale. But there's the far away view. You guys are 2 feet away there. Let's get this so you can see it. Kelly won today. That's awesome. So congratulations, Kelly. I know you're going to go look at the site. Just let me know when you find one you love and want, and I will send it out to you. Oh, this little dude. All right. Hold on. So here's the kind of regular view of him. A little steampunky seahorse there. So he'll have the light there. I think what I'll do next to him over here is that switch, the on and off guillotine switch, and then the rest of this I'm gonna see what I can do about steampunking a lock, some lock mechanisms in here. Not too crazy, but maybe something. Because again, I hate doing this because I don't know what I'm looking at. So if I go get reference material, I don't want it to be bad, you know, bad reference material. So I might, Cheese, if you're still here, is there any way you can shoot me like a diagram of something that would look like it was on the inside of this thing from like here over? You know, head on, that would be amazing. Or anything, even it's something that won't a lock picker won't look at and will go, oh, that shouldn't be on there. Oh, perfect. Okay, great. That'd be great, because then I can just kind of tie in some element of inside the lock here, and then I still got to put on all the gears and all the filigree and all that fun stuff to tie it all together. So I think it'll be fun. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to switch the cameras around. We try to. Again, come by Wednesday. Brand new project. Brand new project, the London Pen project. So we're going to be painting up one of these cool, very cool London Pen pens that Sean makes. So that'll be great. I'm going to keep working on this. I'm really hoping, again, I wanted to have it done last week, but I didn't. I'm hoping to have it done this week. But there's a remote outside chance you'll see it again next Monday, but hopefully not. Hopefully I'm on to something else. As far as what it is, I don't know yet what for Monday. There's a lot of stuff that I do need to do. So we'll see. That's what we got. All right. So thank you for your suggestions. You guys are amazing. You guys are great. So if you have any other questions that I missed, please just send me a message. Again, the best place to do that is you can comment on this video if you see this after the fact, but you can always go to my website and just you send me a message through the website, and then I will definitely get it. Again, I have all the socials, Facebook and Instagram, but the way Messenger is set up on all those, it's crazy, and I often miss messages there, and it makes me sad. So if you want to make sure I see it, just go through the website, because that reaches me directly. All right, that's what I got. So we're Steve Leahy and Open Studio. No, Tech Tuesday. No, Model Monday. I don't know. It's Monday Night Live. I love you guys. I will catch you guys later. Congratulations, Kelly. And come back Wednesday. Come back Wednesday. All right. Take it easy.